talk a little bit more about estrogen. You mentioned that.
Yes.
And the more people we talk to, the more we understand that estrogen is becoming a problem for men and women.
Yes.
Why is that, and what can we do?
Well, I think that because of the introduction of what we call xenoestrogens and pesticides and chemicals in plastic bottled water, we have so many different exposures now from these chemicals. Furthermore, some people, when they consume, say, fatty foods, the fat aromatizes and it converts into more of this harmful form of estrogen. We call it estrogen dominance. We used to think that just for women, for example, to take progesterone, that somehow would calm down the estrogen dominance. But you're really confusing the issue, because progesterone is a distinct, very important hormone within its own right for its specific uses and purposes. And to take progesterone to somehow nullify the harm or danger of excess forms of estrogen doesn't generally work. In fact, progesterone downstream can convert through a pathway to a certain form of estrogen and cause its own problems of estrogen dominance, taking progesterone. So it's not that I'm opposed to taking progesterone. I'm talking about a correct use. Small amounts of progesterone if the woman's deficient. In the case of men, some doctors are saying use progesterone. I'm not quite in agreement with that for various reasons. In fact, they use progesterone for sex offenders to suppress sexual ability in men. And most men want to have a little bit better libido and sexual function, not less, unless they're a sex offender. I guess, you got to somehow suppress them. But all this being said, I mean, we look at estrogen, and we've discovered that certain plant cruciferous vegetable extracts, particularly diethylmethane indole 3-carbinol, that have been found to be prevalent in, say, Napa cabbage, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, and it has to be in a raw form. These raw vegetables in a supplement form, we can get these specific extracts. Also, wasabi is wonderful for detoxifying harmful estrogen. So we use a combination in a product I call Ester Block Pro, and what it does is these supplementation along with these particular foods help detoxify these harmful estrogens, and actually restores a good form of estrogen called 2-hydroxyestrone. And it's that good form of estrogen that creates what's called apoptosis. It tells the cells in the body to look for any abnormal cancer cells. It enhances the immune system. It improves the function of the body in libido and mental function. So estrogen has its role. It can sustain good bone density, but too much of the wrong kind of estrogen causes tumors, cysts, fibroids. We see prostate cancer, breast cancer. So a lot of the cancers now we're realizing are somehow estrogen receptive. And so we have to be very careful to help people, to educate them to remove out these toxic forms of estrogens, restore the good estrogen that is protective against cancer, and remove the harmful form of estrogens that tend to enhance certain growths of cancer. Cancer itself is a very complex disease, and you have to understand the aspects of starving the cancer by not giving it cholesterol, because cancer can't produce its own cholesterol. You don't want to give it a lot of sugar to feed it, and you also want to make sure that you remove the excess estrogens out, so the body has a fighting chance to identify these abnormal chromosomal chaos that's going on in the cells.